What's up, everybody? Welcome to Untamed and Unhinged Reptile Podcast. And we got Tim with us today from Intrepid Exotics. What's up, bro?
Yeah, not much, man. Almost made it through another week. It's Friday Eve.
Right? Is it Friday?
Friday Eve.
Oh, it's Thursday. Friday Eve, yeah. Okay. I was like, wait, what? I better check because I got to go to work. I was like, dang.
This is so weird being on. I've got to get myself into the chat on here. There we go. There, I made it now.
Yeah, there's like, it says there's 2 people watching, but I don't know who they are now.
There'll be more people jump up. It always takes a little while. That's why I kind of waste a little bit of time at the beginning of my show to just kind of let everybody trickle in. And
well, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about US Art. I don't think there's anything new. They've been kicking ass.
Yep.
On that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I go over that every weekend. There's those 5 states that they've pretty much slapped down, man, because people are getting involved and they're getting the emails out and getting the phone calls out. It's really cool to see how effective they've been, especially the like that iguana ban down in Florida. I was like 100% convinced that thing was going to go through, that they was going to ban them all, and somehow between Phil and Daniel, man, they got that squashed. So
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
What's up, Shelby? What's up, Rodriguez? What's up, everybody? Oh.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know why I'm just so tired today, but I had some questions for you, like about the podcast wise. Like, I don't know if I ever asked you, like, why did you start the podcast or what made you get into podcasting on YouTube?
It wasn't really the podcasting that got me started. It was crazy because let's see, my channel is just over 2 years old. So in October of this year will be the 3rd year. I actually, before I ever made the YouTube channel, I made a video just showing snake handling and stuff. I was like, oh, what the hell? I'm, film this and all that. And I got so much experience with the big snakes. I was like, well, maybe somebody will find it useful. And I was like, you know what? I could talk about this stuff forever. So that's when I started the YouTube channel and then just started putting out content. And then after, I tried my hand with some live streams and stuff, some different software and just doing a few of those. And it took me a while to get everything fine-tuned and tweaked to where it actually sounded decent. I had really bad time with my audio and stuff for a while, but finally got those things working right. And then I started doing the live streams every Saturday because with my job, sometimes I could get a video out, sometimes I couldn't. And I've had a couple breaks in the last couple of years where, I'd go a month or 2 without putting out a video. I just didn't want to be removed from the community that much. So, I've got a pretty good community going right there, folks that follow along and a lot of friends and everything. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to, every Saturday at 7:00, we're going to go on, we're going to go live. Whether I got anything to talk about or not, we'll make it up as we go. And, we made.
I think that's the best way.
Yeah. I mean, you just get in and I start interacting with the folks in the chat. Before you know it, a lot of times I go in there thinking, man, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. This is only going to be a half-hour stream, and before you know it, 2 hours has gone by, and we still got a bunch of stuff to talk about. So,
I think that too. Like some days I'm like exhausted, and I'm like, oh man. Like yesterday I was tired, but that live was fun.
Yeah,
she was fun. And I told her too after we got off the live, I messaged her. I said, "Man, that was fun." Like, that was fun. I don't know.
Yeah, they're pretty good folks out there, and it's been a while since I talked with them, and I just can't remember where I met them at. But it was on, I'm almost certain it was on a podcast of some sort, and yeah, I ended up following their YouTube and all that other stuff at that time, but I can't remember where it was a long time ago. Yeah, Rodriguez knows our pain.
We've done so many lives that have gone over 30 minutes, 4-hour lives. Hey, Rod, if you want to jump on, let me know, brother. You're more than welcome to hop on. This is an open podcast. We're just talking about asking each other questions of whatever, brother.
Yeah.
More than welcome to jump on.
Whatever pops off.
But yeah, so that's why I was like, man, I'm trying to like figure out ways to pop up, like not pop up, but to make US art more out there. I'm trying to, because we tried going to pet stores and like PetSmart, Petco, they won't let you put anything with US art go. You already know that. I don't know. The only thing I'm thinking is like we set up and just do like where you can interact with the reptiles and.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's one of those things with that. I mean, you gotta. People don't care about it until they care about it, and I've found that the best way to draw people into US Arc is to really draw people into reptile education, reptile keeping, and all that stuff. Because you get, most of the folks. Well, I can't say that. I can say a lot of the folks that go into PetSmart are just like run-of-the-mill pets, dogs, cats, all that stuff, and they're just not really connected with an exotics community. So yeah, they don't really care a whole lot. But kind of my approach on it is, I just keep trying to build my audience and then beat them over the head with US Arc every chance I get.
See, I'm trying to do that. So when I think of exotics, I think exotic birds, exotic fish. So I'm reaching out to other communities. Like I've reached out to the fish community, tried to bring them on. I reached out, like I got somebody from Japan coming on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm reaching out to people like all over, and they go back and watch the podcast and like, yeah, dude, I want to come on. This looks fun, and so I'm like, one, doing something right, or doing something they love. I don't know,
right?
But
yeah, it's really cool. I've got one friend that I used to go through all the time for my aquariums when I kept fish. And I've popped in there a couple times and kind of touched on, maybe going in and doing like a store tour and stuff like that with him. And whenever we manage to get moved and I get more space, I want to fire up another couple marine tanks and some more stingrays and octopus and stuff like that.
Yeah. When you do that, let me know, because I want an octopus. I just don't know which one to get. I don't want to get anything, that's severely poisonous or.
No. As long as you stay away from the blue rings, you're okay.
Yeah, I like those though. Those are really gorgeous.
They're really cool. We had some Pacific octopus, and the mimic octopus is what we kept mainly, and those are really neat.
How much do they run for?
Oh God, it's been so long. Maybe 100-ish bucks, something like that.
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, they're really not bad. The only bad thing about octopus is they've got such a short lifespan.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, of like year or two type short lifespan. So, if you're getting one that's kind of big from the pet store already, you figure the thing's probably halfway through its life cycle. So by the time you get it home and by the time you get attached to it and start working with it, and it's going to die.
That sucks.
It does.
That's horrible though, bro. Like, that sucks.
It is. So, you know, they're novel to keep and they're really cool, man. They're really cool to kind of interact with and stuff, but they just die so quick. I think one of my favorites that I kept was pufferfish, porcupine puffers.
See, I like pufferfish too. I do like the pufferfish.
They are really, really smart.
It's like chameleons. I think it's 7 years for octopus lifespan.
Nah, it's not that much. No, they're really
I'm
short.
about to Google this. Hold on. Google.
Yeah, I'm about to double check myself too.
All right, octopus lifespan.
Because if I was wrong, I'd like to know. Yeah, 1 to 2 years. That's what I thought. I didn't think I was screwed up. Let me look up Pacific octopus because maybe that's what he's thinking.
I was like that.
Yeah, see, like the giant Pacific octopus, it says 3 to 5 years in the wild. So 7 years in captivity, I guess, would make sense. So yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of different species, so we're both right.
Like kind of right. But I'm also been like reaching the birds.
Yeah.
You know, like the exotic owls, because now people are capturing these like. I saw this person on Instagram. She posted this like albino exotic owl,
Really?
super yellow, really gorgeous. And I reached out and I said, "Would you be interested to come on a podcast?" Like, and then of course, you know, I'm always gonna ask them, like, "What do you all think of US Arc?" And when they're like, "I don't know what that is," and they're like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, especially they keep something like owls, because I don't know exactly what the laws are on them, but I know any bird of prey is restricted to some degree. I mean, I think to the point where it's like even having an eagle feather or something like that. If you're not Native American or licensed to handle that animal, it's illegal to have any part of a bird of prey.
I'm just like anybody like working with the exotic birds. Anybody working with the exotic anything,
Right.
like big cats, little cats. I've seen people with bear cubs, raccoons.
Yeah.
That's all exotics, you know. People are still like, I don't know what US Arc. I never heard of US Arc. You know, they help, you know, keep our animals. Like they fight for your owl, your raccoon, your possum, your octopus, whatever you got in your house.
Right.
All the shit we're not supposed to
have. Right. I mean, like that one that's still going down in South Carolina, that deals specifically with local wildlife, I think. With
which one?
Restrictions on local wildlife. The stuff that's going on in South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's one that, let me refresh my memory. I mean, last time I talked with Jeremy about that, I think that was one that they was just kind of keeping an eye on because it doesn't actually impact like exotics necessarily, and it's meant more to regulate the native species, to like stop poaching and stuff like that. But
I didn't know they were poaching out there.
I poach everywhere.
Huh.
I mean, there's almost always restrictions on keeping anything local. You know, like, I don't think you're supposed to be able to go out and pick a possum up off a tree and bring it in, keep it as a pet. I think that's against the law in most places. So.
Bro, I went to the park. Okay, so listen here. I went to the park, right? This little boy caught a duck, a baby duck, and was like, comes up to me and I'm eating a bag of chips, right? And I give him a chip because he's like, "Can I have a chip for the duck?" Mm-hmm. I was like, "Sure." You know, I don't think he eats that, but whatever. So he crushed it up and it started eating out of his hand. Right? And he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna take him home." And I was like, "Okay, but you know, I think the mom and the dad are gonna be like looking for him later, right?"
Right.
And so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna take him home. I don't think he's safe out here. Like it's not safe for him out here, right? So he was like trying to get permission for me to take him home, but I was like, bro, that's a wild duck. That stays, needs to stay here.
Right.
And then,
Well,
well,
get it home, it's going to be very unhappy.
well, anyways, long story short, he took that thing home. He took it home. I was like, I don't know what you're like trying to get from me. Like, I'm not your dad. I'm not gonna tell you, yeah, you can't do that. Yes, you can. I mean, I could have said no, you can't do that. But
Right.
I don't know. Sometimes people gotta learn because either not, they're still gonna do it later, regardless if you say so or not.
Right. Yeah, we had there was even several years ago, I think it had to have been about 8-9 years ago now, because I think I've been in North Carolina 9 or 10 years. But I had some friends when I first got out here that had a herd of deer that they had a license to keep. And one of them got pregnant, had a fawn, and I guess they had a disagreement with their neighbors or something like that. Neighbors called animal control, let them know that they were now one over the limit that they were supposed to have, and animal control came out and killed his entire herd. And he had 3 or 4 albinos out there as well. So I mean, it's a really kind of rare animals. And yeah, he just came out, axed them all.
Just because he had 3 over.
1 over.
Oh damn!
Yeah, he was at the number that he was allowed to have, and then as soon as that baby was born,
Put him over.
yeah, put him over, and he just came out and killed his whole herd. So, I mean, it's stuff like that. We talk about exotics and U.S. Ark and all that stuff.
I'm like, why did they kill the whole herd? Why not just the one that was over?
I don't know, man. It's the same thing that they did in Florida.
Yeah, true.
They go in there, kill happy, and yeah, it's like
I don't understand how people do that. It's like, do you have a heart or not? But yeah, I get you have a job to do.
Yeah, but a lot of those guys, there's a lot of good folks that work in law enforcement, but there's a lot that power trip too. You watch too many Rambo movies, and they finally get issued a vest and a gun and all that shit, and they're like, man, I ain't never get to shoot my gun. Oh, we got an excuse to kill a whole herd of deer. Let's see what it does.
But I mean, is it really a bad thing if you don't ever get to use your gun? I feel like it's not. I mean,
well, normal people are like that, but like I said, I mean, you get some guys in those professions that get on power trips, and that's all they want to do is go out and pew something.
Yeah. Yeah, get all gun happy, trigger happy.
I mean, admittedly, when I was in the military, I think most of us in combat arms were like that. You get ready to head off in combat, you're not going in there meek and like, man, I hope I don't have to shoot anybody. It's like, man, I want to, you have contests to see who can shoot the most. Only thing is that combat mindset doesn't transfer over to civilian life very well.
Yeah.
So.
I have a buddy that used to tell me he used to go into battle like just straight, man, shooting. Some stories.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the way he was telling it and the way he was describing it, man. It was saying like it was the worst. And then he said like, not only like, let's say if you're fighting in a lake or a pond or a river or whatever there is out there. He says like once the bodies start falling, like it's just bodies floating to the shoreline, just coming in.
Yeah, I kind of take all them stories with a grain of salt.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn, but then people in, what was it in Turkey when they bombed them, or on TikTok where they were posting all the videos and they watched it happen.
Turks, I don't know. The Turks have done a bunch of dumb shit. So
I don't know. It was across. It was somewhere in the Middle East.
Yeah,
and they were.
I say Turks have been. it was really funny because when I was in Bosnia, we was sitting at a PX down there, and it was an Austrian soldier. This big guy, he was like 6'20" and looked like he was 15 years old. He's just the funniest big dude. And we're exchanging weapons, looking at each other's gear and all that stuff. And there was a group of Turks that walked by, and just this huge monster of a man all of a sudden started looking at him and going, gobble, 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 gobble. I looked at him. I just kind of cocked my head a little bit. He was just like, nobody likes the Turks.
That's funny.
Yeah. That was funny. So it was really cool to be able to work with all the different countries over there. That was fun stuff.
You miss it?
Every morning after 9 a.m. I don't miss getting up and running and doing PT and all that stuff.
But I don't know. I feel like running keeps the body going.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty broke down after my knee surgery and my other one giving out and the back issues, and yeah, I was done.
See, I got the same thing. Like I got back problems, my lower back, anyways, my lower back, and then my knees. In football, like sometimes my right knee just buckles on its own. I'm like, oh, what the?
Well, I mean, you're conditioned to do dumb things to your body in the military. Like I went most of my time with no ACL in my left knee. Did a lot of activities, a lot of stressful activities over there, missing that component. So by the time it finally wore all the way out, man, it was done. So like I can get back in the gym and get on a heavy bag and get my cardio back up and get up to doing, 12 2-minute rounds on the bag and still coming strong at the end of it. But when I try and run now, my knee just says, no, don't do it.
It's like, no, sorry.
Yep.
Out of service. Of service.
Yeah. Makes it kind of fun walking, and big snakes around the backyard too.
What about saltwater tanks?
Yeah, that's what I was into. Saltwater.
So it's like saltwater octopus, saltwater pufferfish.
Yeah.
I thought there was freshwater octopus.
I don't know if there is or not. I don't think there is. I think all octopus are.
Hold on, let me look.
I can't say no because there could be some out there that I'm not familiar with, but as far as I know, all of them are marine. Yeah, I had when I was at the max with my tanks, I think I had seven.
It says they can survive in fresh water. This one that they're showing is a red and white one.
Right.
Like red, white, polka dots.
Yeah, well, I know there's stuff like freshwater stingrays and stuff like that. So, but the only ones that I know of were marine. The ones that I kept, like those mimic octopus, were marine.
I don't know. I also want like jellyfish or an octopus.
Yeah, those
jellyfish. Frogs.
Yeah, jellyfish.
I don't know. So I don't know what you think about frog tanks.
I've never really kept frogs. Had one red-eyed tree frog for a while, and my snakes and the lizards all keep me busy. So
he said, "I want jellyfish and stingrays."
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, I loved my little California stingray, man. It was so much fun.
So get this, I got a story for you, man. So I got a tank for a little dumpy tree frog. So I'm gonna show you this tank. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I put the little guy in that tank.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day I come in to check on him, and he's not in the damn tank anymore. Yeah, the little tree frog. I don't know how he did it, but he lifted the lid off and got out.
Man, that's crazy.
I was like, so I've been looking. I know he's somewhere in here, but I don't know where, man. He'll pop out eventually somewhere.
Right? Yeah, they always do. My little
So,
retic over here has been crawling the walls.
oh man, dude, talk about retics. My retics blew up their tubs. I just cleaned them. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. I'm going to take
Must-
her out. Because I got to take her out every night or else she gets an attitude with me.
I'll show you mine. Hold on.
It's crazy. Come on. Yeah, since she is up here in the office, she sees me all the time. And every time I turn around, she's got her nose on the glass wanting to get out. All right, I'll go to chair. Where you at? Almost not looking forward to the day when she starts getting big because she's so easy to manage right now.
Well, the good thing is he shed it, but he also just pooped his. Oh man, hold on. This guy.
Where you
Get
going?
off of here, buddy.
Quit trying to go out the window.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute, buddy. This is the guy that bit me the other night.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he's in my ear. This guy moves too much. Let me see if he lets me. Try to put this on. It's not working. All right, we got it. But yeah, so my guy here.
Nice.
It's platinum.
Yeah, that's a good looking boy.
And he's pretty good about being head tame, but
Yeah,
yeah, he's pretty cool. Chill.
nice. Yeah, it's great when you get them young, man, because they chill out so quick. At least all the ones
Oh,
I've
hold
got.
on. I think you lowered the volume here. Now, what was that, Tim?
No, I said it's so cool when you get them young because they chill out so quick.
So when I got him from Lucas, I used to go and visit Lucas at Lab Exotics,
Right.
and he was in the tub, and I would go over just to open the tub just to see him because I was like, man, I'm gonna get that snake.
Nice.
And I told Lucas, I was like, I'm gonna buy that snake, and I bought him, and he was a fleer. Like you open it, and he strike, and then try to run out.
Right.
He still does that, but I mean, once you get him out, he's pretty chill like that.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, retics are just so smart.
See,
Man.
like I've never like not missed like a meal. He literally just shed it, so he has fresh skin. Look at that, fire.
Yeah, I always loved platinums, man.
That's fire.
So
Yeah, so now I'm sad because my little dumpy frog got out, and I didn't think the lid was that light for it to get out.
right. Yeah, you'll be sitting there one of these days, and it'll be stuck to your computer monitor or something.
Right, put it on and be like, oh damn, there's a frog in my ear, legit frog in my ear. But yeah, so now I'm looking at every time I come in here, I look under the desk, or I'll look somewhere like in the corners, and nothing.
Yeah, I've had.
But how's that Tegu what is it, Tegu handling video coming?
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. I mean, he's still kind of touchy. It's going to take some time, but he's actually. I talked with the guy that I gotten him from today, and I think we're going to go ahead and send him back over to him So,
Why he's still kind of.
well, I'm gonna work with him a little bit more and see if I can get him tamed down a little bit to where he's at least not biting quite as frequently. Um, and then he's gonna go ahead and take him back. So.
Where you going, buddy?
Here, going in there.
I hate having a headset and then the wires right here in front because then he wraps himself around it. But yeah, that's my boy, Zenitsu. I named him after Demon Slayer because, well, he looks like lightning. So
Yeah.
I don't know. In the sun, he does. He sheds. He sheds when he sheds. He sheds phenomenal. Like it's a whole. Yeah, it's a whole piece. It's all together.
Right.
It's not broken. Look, hold on. And every time I go open this tub, I gotta clean that thing out. And I just cleaned it out, like I said. New paper, everything. He took a big poop in there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. There's the shed.
Right. That's a good one.
Yeah. It's still. It won't let me open my arm my thumb, because look, it's my thumb. It's clamping down really tight too. I don't know why. But yeah, he's the one that I was cleaning out his tub the other day. Right after the live, he bit me. I was like, bro, what did I do to you? You never bite me. Came and bit me. And like I said, he was the one too. Like I would have him here and look at my beard, and he.
Oh yeah, you could jump at it. Yeah, it's been a while since any of my retics have really gotten me. It's been years. My female got me one time in the chest, and that was just because I was sitting there holding the rat out, had her enclosure door down. She missed the rat entirely, and her teeth just stuck in my chest, and she just kind of sat there looking at me.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We kind of pull her off and put her back in there and make sure she got the rat the next time around.
This guy's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it just takes time handling them.
But what's cool is I could hold him and the female together.
Yeah.
And they just chill in my hand. The female will stay right here in the palm of my hand. But yeah, him, I don't know. He just wants to bite everybody.
Yeah, that one I got from Jeremy, the marble platinum that I've got downstairs. He's pretty energetic. Jeremy said he's taken a couple shots at him.
So he wrapped himself around my bicep.
I might have to go down and get him. He doesn't get a whole lot of screen time.
No, he doesn't. That's why, though, because I'm afraid that he'll bite me on live, and I'm not trying to, promote that. Because, that's a touchy subject, too, getting bit on, like, camera, but, like, doing it for the views and whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's like anything else, man. It really depends on the context. So, yeah, just like working with the Tegu the couple times that he's taken a strike at me. It's just kind of there to demonstrate that, this is what it looks like. This is what you can expect if you've got one that really isn't comfortable around you and stuff. And, of course, that little Sri Lankan back there, when I was doing that series with him, he bit me 10, 20 times each session for the first probably 3 or 4 sessions. But, it's different when they're small. So.
See, but like the number one question, and I've seen it in pet shops, pet stores, or pet thing, like anything where it involves a reptile and you go in to buy it, your number one question is always does it bite? Is it docile?
Yeah.
Is it, can I hold it? Like, no, man. You gotta work with it, then you can hold it. Then it'll be docile. takes time, but you gotta be willing enough to want to work with the animal, not just like, oh, it's mean, it bites every time I try to take it out.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
like, go ahead, Tim.
No, I was just gonna say, I always tell everybody, you know, if you're gonna work with something, just expect to get bit and expect to overlook it. Just when it happens, ignore it the best you can. Yeah, just keep working with them.
So like, this boy didn't like, he wouldn't let me put my hand by his face, but he'll let me like put it there and then put him on the head.
Mm,
And when I got him before, he didn't let me do that ever.
right.
So now him and the female do that now. So they're pretty good at that.
Right.
Like I said, these guys are just my heart, man. They're my everything. This one and the female.
Mm,
I think she's still in shed too.
yeah, there's just something about retics. I'm really happy it's starting to warm up outside so we can get the big guys out more.
Oh, right now it's raining, so if I took them outside, I don't know how that would. I don't know. I just feel like giving water and then bring them back in. They get sick or something. I don't know.
Nah, they do pretty good. I've had my boa out at an event one time in the summer, and as we was getting ready to leave, it just started downpouring on us. It's no different than them jumping in their water bowl to soak, you know.
Um,
That rain
I'm
don't mess.
just it blows my mind.
Mm,
I don't know why like people would give away a retic like this. Like, well, not like mine, but just take it outside and let it go and act like it.
I haven't I haven't heard too much about that. I really don't hear too much about people finding released retics, which is a good thing. You know, there's a lot of people that
What's
talk
up,
about it,
Serenity?
but hey, Serenity's on.
If you'd like to jump on Serenity, let us know. We'll send you a link and you can jump on with me and Tim, hang out. We're just talk about anything pretty much, really.
Oh yeah,
It was an open podcast. We're just you know hanging out, talking. If you have any questions, we'll answer them. And let's see, like, I want to do a Q&A podcast too, but those don't really work out.
are you talking like taking questions like straight out of the chat there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It it just takes a little bit of time for it to grow, for people to get in. Um, yeah,
Oh,
once
he's
it
pretty
starts to
chill, though.
bit, they'll be. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Q&As are hard to do, so I feel like when you're doing podcasting or whether it be just trying to answer the questions in the chat, because sometimes the chat be going too fast, uh, or just trying to get the chat involved.
Yeah.
That's hard.
I don't know, man. It's like when I do my live streams, it's the chat that carries me through. Um, you know, we've got the regular group in there, and I end up getting so far behind a lot in the comments because I'll sit there and scan through everything and try and weed out because they'll be having conversations between themselves and all that, which really don't need to be addressed. And I'll keep scanning through for questions and comments and stuff. And there's always somebody in there that's got something to talk about. Like I said, man, I'll start with like zero agenda, and by the time
It doesn't.
it's all said and done, we're on for like 2 hours.
Already between the filter on the monitor pond was nasty. I'd be happy to join you on another time. Shit. Well, Tim's doing one Saturday.
Yep, every Saturday at 7.
No, the open one.
Yeah, I was doing them at 8, but I bumped them back to 7 o'clock because I wanted to start doing a Zoom call for the Patreon members at 8:30 every week. So
And that Zoom call is open for anybody though this weekend, this Saturday, right?
yeah, this weekend I'm just gonna throw the link up in the chat on the channel, and anybody who wants to jump in can jump in.
But I don't know. I don't know what else we could do. Like get the word out about USR.
I just bring it up in any situation that I can. Yeah.
So my buddy was saying that if we could get $5 and we only have, what did you say we had? We had like 38,000. There's like 120 million people that own reptiles. You know, we have $5, not the 40, because the 40 is bronze. But isn't there like one where it's 5 or something? You get a membership now.
Yeah, USARC. I think the sustaining membership's like 20 a year, and then bronze is 40, silver's 250, gold is 1,000, I think. So, but even still, I just encourage people to keep up with, get on and just, even if they just do the basic bare minimum, because the numbers really make a big difference.
Just watch the notifications come up for USARC or whatever is going on. Just keeping tabs.
I mean,
I try.
It always slows down this time of year when, pretty much all the legislation's been dealt with and there's not really a whole lot going on. It's always a lot easier to recruit when there's an actual pressing issue. Yeah. Then everybody jumps on board and everybody wants to participate because, people in that state are looking down a barrel of a ban or something. So it's really easy to get those folks on board then, but if there's no urgency, if there's nothing going on, people are like, oh yeah, whatever, we're fine till the next year when they try and do something.
So what if like at shows when you purchase animal you have to become a USARC member or something like that? Would that work or that wouldn't work?
Probably wouldn't. I mean, you really can't force people because people are there, to support their livelihood and stuff like that. So I don't think many vendors would go for something like that. As some would. Some are strong enough behind USARC where they're like, as a matter of fact, I think there's a couple of them out there that have talked about, not even selling snakes to anybody unless they're a USARC member. Or alternatively, what a lot of people are doing that's a little bit less dictatorial about it is when somebody buys an animal from them, out of the cost of that animal, they'll pay for the USARC membership for them. So,
and I've heard that too.
Yeah, which is really cool. So, I mean, especially if you're selling somebody a snake for $1,000, $2,000 or something like that, knocking at $40 off to get their USARC membership. And I know there's a lot of them, a lot of the breeders that talk with folks about it when they're selling them animals. So.
But I've also heard too about like if you're they're trying to do like if you're not a USARC member, you can't vend the shows now.
All right.
Yeah. I heard something about that, but I don't know if that's gonna go through or they're trying to vote on that or what. But I don't know how that's gonna go. But I mean, I'm all for it because I'm a USARC member.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. And there's so many different show promoters and stuff like that, and so many different shows that are going on. I think they'd really have a hard time making something like that fly with dictating it to people.
Yeah.
But, if there's enough people involved, if we pretty much make it commonplace, if you're vending a show, you've got some USARC material out there, or you're talking with folks about it, podcasts, stuff like that, as long as everybody's mentioning it and keeping, because I've gotten a lot of people joining USARC through mine simply because, when I go through, I pull everything up and I look at it and I show it to everybody and say, hey, for you, those of you guys that think this may not work, look at what happened here. There's 5 different states that don't have animal bans right now or dumb regulations because of the work that USARC does. So we really push that.
And I've just, like I say, it's just hard to do it, especially like when we're trying to do it on our podcast and talk about it all the time. And like I said yesterday, it's just like who's really watching the podcast? It's like the same people watching your podcast. It just stays there unless they're, unless they're sharing it out and trying to get you out there, trying to get US Arc out there. I mean, the only way anything works is people share it out, pretty
Mhm.
much.
Yeah. And I mean, even a lot of the bigger channels, they acknowledge the bigger ones that, are out there and pushing for views. Won't do a lot of that stuff because it just doesn't get a lot of attention. Yeah. You put out something on US Arc, you might get a quarter of the views that something else will get. So,
Yeah, and another thing was brought up too was like, you want to know how sad it is that some of these big names, are reptile breeders, keepers, or they got reptile zoos, and they're not US Arc members.
mm,
But they donate, but not US Arc member. You know what I mean?
mm.
So I don't know if that like if that's any different or if that works any better for them, like just to donate, not be part of US Arc. I don't know.
I don't know. There's some people that have got different opinions. They've got different views on financials and all this other stuff. Even though everything's right out there in broad daylight, where you can go out and look at everything, you still get some people that are just completely convinced that it doesn't work, that it's not worth their time. Some people you just can't reason with. Essentially, all you got to do is open up and look at the stuff that's going on and look at the results that they've got. So, I mean, it all kind of speaks for itself, but you'll always get people that are skeptical no matter what. So,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, can't just force it down their throat and tell them, hey, you gotta go be a US Arc member, or before you buy a snake, you gotta be a US Arc member. Can't do that. Wish we
right.
could, but we can't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we could,
Yeah,
like I said, we could just make it easier for folks. Like I said, if and when I ever start breeding, that's going to be my approach. When I sell an animal to somebody, I'm going to make sure that I talk to them about it and say, hey, this first $40, this first year, it's coming off the price of the animal. We'll get you on board. Try to make sure to, stay up to date with what's going on and keep your membership renewed and all that other stuff. So, and like I said, I beat it every time I go onto the live streams. I don't touch it a lot of times in the videos because I end up getting so caught up in the content and the conversation and what I'm working with. I was actually thinking the other day I need to add a US Arc something into my intro so that it's always there in all of my videos.
yeah. I mean, we need to. If you need, I can do something for you and just send it over.
Yeah, I've got to come up with something that'll tie in with what I've got there. Because there's so much. Like when I do content, I'm typically coming home from work and jumping in real quick, getting everything set up, and I do everything. I don't script anything. It's all just stream of consciousness, whatever I'm talking about. So I get so absorbed in the topic that everything else just kind of goes out the window, and I get tunnel vision on what I'm talking about. So
I feel like when I do talk about something and I'm into it, I write down notes. I take notes. So like if it's about retics, I'm taking notes. Um, about milk snakes or hog noses, which I pretty much know hog noses and milk snakes. I mean,
yeah,
and then I got a rat snake too. So see, he's he was all trying to strike my hand right now.
Really?
Nice. Yeah. It's because I was moving it like this, so he thinks it's food.
Right
above his head. So, because when I'm talking, I'm like talking with my hands. I don't know why I do that, but I do.
Yeah. Well, I
feel like
actually had that, and had a couple people in the Tegu comments talking about, dude, you need to quit talking with your hands. You're stressing them out. And it's like, no, we need to do that. We need to make sure that they see it. Make sure they get used to seeing fingers. Because otherwise, if you don't see it, they don't desensitize them to it, man. When they see them, they're going to go for them.
They're going to bite your finger off.
Right.
It's true, right? They're able to do that, right? I've heard stories like they are able to take limbs off people.
Well, I mean, they've got about the same bite force as a German Shepherd. So I imagine if they get you right on the joint and get you just right, it's possible.
It's coming off.
Yeah. I mean, you get a big adult. I guess it could happen.
So, we're gonna go reptile by reptile. What would be like? So, if you start over, Tim, if you could start over, you would still stick to retics? Jump right into them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I just love big snakes to begin with, and it's, God, they're so rewarding to work with, you know. And it's one of those things that when I'm putting out the content about them too, I mean, it's such a double-edged sword with big snakes because they can be really super easy, one of the easiest animals in the world, or they can be terrifying. And I've seen them both ways. So, you know, it's hard to, I don't know. You got to try and walk that center line of saying, man, they're friggin' amazing. They're the best pet in the world, or they're absolutely not for you. You don't want this. You're going to be terrified. You're going to be miserable. Because I mean, it all just depends on the keeper and their skill level and familiarity and stuff like that. Depends on what kind of experiences the animals had. There's just so many variables that go into it. And I don't want to tell people that they're perfectly safe and all of this, because they're a big, powerful animal. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can ruin a relationship really quick and get yourself in trouble, So it really is a double-edged sword. It's a balancing act with these guys, which is really what motivated me to start the channel in the first place, was to really go into the handling aspect of it and what I do to be safe with them and get them comfortable and all this other stuff and reading their behavior. But yeah, man, I would definitely, if I was starting back over, would definitely. Thoughts on big lizards? Speaking of big snakes, what are your thoughts on? Stop it.
The number of Asian water monitors being produced, there just aren't that many people able to care for them.
Being produced. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Asian water monitors is that, they kind of fall into the same category as retics. If you're a skilled handler and you know what you're doing, they're great. But just like anything else, man, you get them and people aren't putting them in big enough enclosures, getting impacted, getting really bad attitudes and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I think in a lot of ways it's kind of self-regulating if you think about it. Big lizards, big snakes. Most of the population looks at a big snake and goes, hell no.
Same thing when they see a big ass lizard.
Yeah.
They're like, how do you do that? How do you take care of that thing? What do you feed that thing?
Right. It's like, well, you never see any little kids running around my house because
for real, I'd be chasing them.
but I mean, like I said, I mean, in a lot of ways, I think it's self-regulating, because most reasonable people, if they see something like that and they know they can't handle it, that fear keeps them from making bad decisions and getting them. You get those people that see them, they see them that size and they're like, oh man, this is an amazing animal. Yeah. And then by the time they get 12, 14 feet long, then they don't know how to handle them anymore. And it's like, what do I do?
I want to say, like, I don't know, with the monitors, like you said, you gotta be well tamed keeper,
Hmm.
and you gotta have patience with monitors.
Yeah,
A lot of patience.
yeah,
But there's people like my buddy here in San Antonio is trying to produce water monitors and black dragons,
right.
and so I get what you're saying. There's gonna be a lot of babies. Um, I don't know, but a lot of people are buying them.
Yeah,
The market's good right now only because people are buying them. They don't know. I think they're not properly educated on how big they get.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
don't know.
but
I'd like to see how some of these end up. And I've said the same thing about retics too. Is you see so many people posting pictures of their baby retics. Man, look at this awesome reticulated python that I've got, and then it goes away for a little while, and then all of a sudden you just don't see people posting pictures of the big snakes. You know, if there's 100,000 baby reticulated pythons out there that everybody's so proud of, you should be seeing 100,000 pictures of the 16, 18-foot snakes that everybody's proud of, but you just don't see it. And I think a lot of that might have to do with the fact that they're just not living that long. You
I
know,
feel like it's backlash too. Like, how do you take care of that thing? What is that thing? It's always questions like that. Is it properly cared for? People are attacking other breeders, other people.
right?
You already know. You already know. Like
Yeah, I mean,
what it could possibly be. But I
and like,
honestly, that's what I think.
hmm, yeah,
Backlash.
yeah, like I said, man, they can be so easy
Excuse
with the right experience, but
me. What is
yeah,
it saying? Oh, there it is. I was like, what? Which raises the question: what happens to all the babies? Yeah, but should a lot of people be buying them? How many do you think make it last 1 year? I honestly agree with these Serenity Dragons. I don't think many make it past that 1 year mark. Should people be buying them? I mean, if they're properly educated by the buyer or the breeder,
mm,
maybe. I mean, if you tell them like, hey, like you said, you're trying to sell a monitor, you show them the enclosure, and then they backed out because why? They knew that it was going to cost too much,
mm-hmm,
and probably because they saw how big it was going to get, or maybe it wasn't the size, maybe it was just the money. They didn't have that kind of money for the dragon. So I feel like you said, people back out not knowing what to expect. So
mm,
yeah, but okay. And dude, same for AWM. Tons of baby, very few 10-plus-year-old animals.
mm,
I'm not attacking anyone. I'm super concerned for the welfare of all these animals that are being. Oh yeah, agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. It's the same. It's the same with retics right now too. Like nobody's attacking anybody with retics. It's just there's a lot being produced now. A lot more being produced.
mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
that's one of the reasons why I never started breeding. Yeah, I thought about it when I first started getting into stuff. I was like, man, I'm gonna breed the hell out of these things. That's what I'm gonna do. And then I just backed off, and I was like, man, I don't want to be responsible for where 100, 200 reticulated pythons go every year. Um, and that's a lot of that's a lot of responsibility to put out on people. You know, and no matter how good you try and vet people, I mean, everybody's an expert in anything.
yeah,
Anytime
yeah,
you ask,
like
yeah, I mean, anytime you ask anybody, they've had two ball pythons and a leopard gecko their whole life, and all of a sudden they're Steve Irwin, and oh yeah, I got all kinds of snake experience. What's the biggest snake you ever had? Well, my ball python's 5 feet. The blood trail that an 18-foot snake is going to leave is longer than 5 feet, man.
yep, yep. I'm not lying. I can say I worked with a 15-foot, pied retic
Right.
mainland, and that thing was throwing me around. Let me tell you what.
Yeah. Some
And
of them,
I'm
man.
and I'm like, I bench 365, and that thing was still throwing me around, dude. Like,
Yep. Yeah, you get some of these animals, man. They
what's up,
just,
Danny?
hey, biggest one I've worked with was just over 20 feet and pushing 200 pounds. And it was not a fat snake. It was just freaking muscle, man. There was one day that it had gotten out, and once a snake that size starts moving, there's not too much you can do. You can do a little bit, how socialized he is. But he went behind, them standing freezers. It's like a refrigerator, but it's a freezer, and this one was all full of stuff. He goes, of course, when they get out, they want to go into something, so he went behind that thing. And I waited until about 6 feet of him got out the other side, and then started, picking up that first couple feet of him, guiding him back over to his house. And he flexed, and that whole chest freezer comes away from the wall, wraps his tail around it, and literally starts turning him, dragging it.
Dang. I'm
Yeah,
like, wow.
immensely strong. It's just freaking amazing. I mean, even it was kind of funny too, because when I went up to Retic Fest up at Garrett Hartle's place last year, Karma, his 20-foot retic, got way up in the rafters, and ended up getting her down. And as she's coming across, I'm kind of easing her down off of there. And as soon as the last half of her body started coming down, she threw 3 wraps around me just to hang on, to keep from falling, to feel secure. And just her hanging on, I could barely breathe. I was probably changing colors, because the people,
Dang.
yeah, oh yeah, man. I mean, God, it's that power coming off these animals. It's so,
I'm like 20 foot too. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
yeah. And like I said, man, she just threw them coils around me and was just hanging on to support herself. And the people around me are like, "Are you okay? Do we need to?" And I was just like, wait. All I got to do is just get her on the ground, and she'll let go. It's okay. She's just trying not to fall. But I mean, stuff like that will terrify some people if you're not used to working with them.
That's true. That's true. That's highly true.
I mean,
And this question here, or what he's saying here, that people that I've seen ask about retics for the first snake blows my mind. I'm sorry. If somebody says this is my first snake, I'm not selling it to you. It's a retic, man. It's huge. It's big. It's gonna get bigger. I mean, unless you're willing to take the guy under your wing and mentor him, then maybe.
Yeah. And see, I mean, that's kind of the thing too. Retics wouldn't be bad as a first snake. It depends on the person and how motivated they are to do the right thing and to educate themselves on how to handle it. Because I mean, you can spend your whole life working with ball pythons, little carpet pythons, green tree pythons, whatever it is that you're working with. You're still never going to learn how to handle a snake. You're going to learn basic stuff about, this is how I'm going to tap train my green tree python to make sure he doesn't get me. But it is so much different managing a smaller snake than it is a bigger one. And the stakes are so much higher, It's one of those things with the big snakes that the whole handling experience is so much different. Like with my little Sri Lankan, when I was doing the series with him, I was fine. I could reach in there and he could bite me 20 times. Doesn't matter. I'll just let him sit there and bite me until he gets tired of it. And then we eventually figured out that he was okay. And, after 10 handling sessions, it was perfectly fine. Quit musking, quit biting, all that stuff. But if you get a 12-foot, 14-foot retic that wants to do the same thing, that's equally as terrified of people, you can't sit there and let him bite you like that. You'll run out of blood before he relaxes.
Damn.
So the whole handling experience is so much different. And I always tell people, no matter how many snakes you've had in the past, when you get a retic, at least find somebody who has some big snakes that will let you handle them and work with them ahead of time, so that by the time your animal starts getting up to that size, you already kind of know what to expect.
See, like Okay, so when I got into retics, it was because of Dax and Taylor from
Oh,
D&T
nice.
retics.
Yeah.
They put an ocelot in my hand. I fell in love with this. The ocelot, I was like, damn, this thing, it's gorgeous. I want it. You know, he's like 10 grand. I was like, everybody take it back.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like it. I met them up. They came up to Aubrey's place out here not too long ago.
They're
I got,
awesome.
oh yeah.
They're
I got,
awesome people. I mean,
yeah.
everybody's awesome in their own way.
Yeah.
You know, I love them.
Dax and Taylor,
Uh,
great.
but yeah, so they got me into the retics, and I was gonna buy one from Dax, but I forgot what happened with that clutch,
Mm,
and I think he only got two out of them out of
right.
that clutch. So I didn't get one from him. I ended up buying one from my first retic came from CMB Reptiles.
Right.
They sent it to me, and you know, for sponsoring the podcast and whatever. That was my
Oh, cool.
first retic. Yeah,
Nice.
and they're like family to me over there. I love them. I hit Bill up. I'll talk to him. Caleb. I haven't talked to Caleb much, but they're really good people out there. But yeah, so he sent me my first retic. It was that female that is there now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she's almost as big. Like she's bigger than this guy. Let me just say that.
Mm.
She eats a lot. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was my first one. Then I got him, and then I got another one. But the other one, she regurgitated or something, and
Mm,
she was gone. Yeah,
really? That sucks.
I have very very little experience with big snakes. When not attempted without someone more experienced, larger snakes we owned or boa.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Plenty big for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, boa BIs are a reasonable size, to handle without really going too deep into it. But yeah, I think anything retics, berms, big berms, anacondas, all that stuff.
And he's just been chilling here this whole time on my hand. Look, and he's
Right.
like wrapped around all my fingers.
Mm.
See, they're not purple, so that's a good thing.
Right.
But yeah, so this is what he does when he gets out and he comes out. He
Mm.
just wraps up in my hand. This is all he ever does. Once he calms down, this is it right here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the way mine are too. Once they burn all their energy out, they just want to hang out and chill.
Plump. Just plump down right here. After this, I'm about to go take pictures of him because he looks beautiful.
Right. Yeah,
But yeah,
asking if I was a dwarf or a
it's a
mainline.
dwarf. Dwarf. Both of them. The male and the female. So
Mm.
I'm gonna just breed one clutch. That's it. And keep some holdbacks, of course, and then raise them up.
Right.
I'm definitely gonna do that. I just want one clutch. Just say, I breed retics, but
Mm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
dwarfs are pretty reasonable for most folks.
yeah, the doors are. That's why I was like, yeah, doors. Yeah, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that. This one's only gonna get what? I think this one's a year and a half.
Cool.
Yeah, I've seen some that are like 4 years old and they're not even like 12 feet, 13 feet. They're like 9 feet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
especially if you get into
very doable.
especially if you get into the super dwarves, man, you get that retic intelligence and demeanor and all that stuff, and you don't have to throw your back out in order to work with them.
Yeah, you don't. You're not getting thrown around by a big mainland. I mean, I'm not saying mainlands are bad. Like, I would get him another mainland because the other baby I had, it was a mainland female,
Mm-hmm.
and it was het G stripe and het sunfire.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I would so get another one. I'm actually gonna hit up my buddy and see what I can do to get another one, because I don't feel like having a mainland and letting it get like over 20 feeds. It's bad. It's like a display animal. If you have a pet shop, everybody wants to come and see that one big snake you got, and they'll be there every day just to see that one big snake.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they're really popular at the events that we do too. I've got either one of my 16 footers will take down. Cody from CNA Exotics has got a 20 footer that he'll bring down. And of course the tortoises and all that stuff.
What is this?
Cody from CNA Exotics.
Oh yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets involved in a lot of our educational stuff too, man. Really great guy.
I haven't met him. I've been trying to like contact him on Instagram and TikTok because I see him on TikTok and Instagram, but he never responds. Like, hey, I'm trying to get you to come on a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, he doesn't do a whole lot of
podcast or anything.
Yeah, he's not really into that. I mean, he's really, you know, he's got his family, plus he's running a business, plus breeding the animals and so forth, and he's throwing out ocelots and all this stuff like nothing. Breeding.
Yeah, I saw his animals. They're freaking gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Aubrey out here. Like the first time you go into Aubrey's place, you just look at his animals and you're like, really? But yeah, Cody's been putting out some really good stuff.
I don't know if you know Michael Voorhees. He's been on here a couple of times.
That name sounds familiar.
And he actually has retics. He does retics. And I'm trying to buy this girl for this boy right here.
All right.
But yeah, see, she's yawning. She's not trying to bite.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the girl. He said it was Sunfire. I think it was albino.
Mm-hmm.
But he said that would go really good with this guy here because of his.
I don't.
Then he has. But that one's not for sale. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
just showing you.
I don't breed. I have devoted absolutely zero mental real estate to genetics and morphs. And stuff.
That's my female.
Cool.
It's Kalatoa. That's the male and the female.
Cool.
And that's another one he was selling, a Kalatoa. Telling you, like, he has some nice ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all his stuff. That's what he has. That's what he works with. I like Mike. He's like he'll call me and I'll be like, dude, I'm fucking depressed today. He's like, get your ass up. You know, he keeps me in check. Like, not in check, but he keeps me, like, I guess, lifted up there.
Yeah.
He's like,
you got to have those people that keep you anchored. Life isn't always easy. I know I've got a couple people every time I run into something that I'm having a hard time figuring out or whatever that I'm always on the phone with. Just like, okay, this happened. My first instinct is to get a shovel. What's my alternative?
Yeah, but yeah, it's like you say, it's always good to have those people that can pick you up and motivate you and get you back on track and be like, dude, it'd be way worse than what you are now, which is true. Like, you stop and you look,
right.
Like, just take a second to look or just look around and think about, like, would I be here now if I stopped?
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime I start getting stressed out, man, it's just a trip down to the reptile room.
And you look around, right? You're like,
yeah. I'll sit down in Niles' enclosure or something like that, and he'll look up at me like, okay, dude, quit being a bitch.
Right, get back out there.
Yeah. Quit being a little baby or I'll bite your finger off.
I don't know. And like, I don't know why, but like when you either hold a snake or a bearded dragon, a crested gecko, whatever it may be, I feel like it doesn't matter what it be, it's always something that's going to help release that stress.
Yeah, it really is calming working with the socialized animals.
I mean,
complete opposite working with the ones that aren't. But
true. I don't know. I think we work with the same animals. Except you work with what, Maylands?
Yeah.
You work with the Maylands.
Yeah, I've got, let's see, my two biggest mainlands are 80 pounds right now. My female is she's going to keep going. My male's kind of old. I mean, he's the biggest male I've ever seen. He's 6 foot long and 80 pounds. Or 16 feet long. I'm sorry. I said 6, didn't I? But, so yeah, he's a big boy. But he's really old too. My female, of course, is a lot younger, and she's just soaring right past him in size. So she's probably well over that by now. I've got those two. Chloe over here, she's a mainland. The Marble Platinum, the dude downstairs, he's a mainland. My male Berm is running about 13 feet now. I don't expect him to get too much bigger than that. But my female Berm back here, of course, they grow a little bit slower than retics, so I'm not worried about her immediately. But I mean, she's going to get pretty good size too. So,
but it was like, what was I going to tell you too about yesterday? Remember when she brought up the Berm attacking her, and you were talking about like you can't let a retic bite you because then if it bites you, you're going to bleed to the. Well, I'm like the Berm though. Like, how do you work with that? We never even got to answer that. Did you answer it?
I just kind of caught the tail end of that kind of conversation there as I was coming in. But I mean, Berms, anacondas, retics, handling one is pretty much the same as handling all of them. The same type of techniques and stuff like that. Every species is going to have little differences. Little, this might be generally applicable to retics, or Berms might generally be a little bit more mellow. But of course, it can flip flop too. I've seen retics that are just completely mellow and lazy, and Berms that are just stone cold killers that want to come at you. Like I said,
have you tamed them down though? Like, have you worked with them to tame them down?
They weren't mine. They weren't ones that I was working with. Yeah, I mean, I would handled a lot of them like that. But like the worst one that I had personally was my big male. When I got him, he was about 12 feet long, and I was terrified of people. He would, you walk by the glass, he's hitting it. I remember one of my first interactions with him after I got him home is he was on one side of the enclosure and I was on the other, and I reached in to spot clean or something, and instantly he was all the way across that enclosure, just barely missed me. And when I jumped back, he lunged out about 6 feet out of the enclosure after me.
Damn.
Oh yeah. He wanted to fight. He straight up, there was nothing food response, nothing defensive. He seen a human and he wanted a piece of me. And I worked with him for a couple months, and he's developed into such a trustworthy animal now. But I mean, it's difficult overcoming that first part, knowing that they want to bite you and they're afraid of you and stuff like that. So gaining that trust can take a little bit of time, which is tough for people if you don't have the confidence. And that's what I tell people when you're working with the bigger snakes. It's such a balance of caution and confidence, because if you're not confident working with them, then you're not going to be able to handle them right and make the animal confident and comfortable and trust you and stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're not cautious, you're going to make mistakes and you're going to get really bad bites.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
Man, we already did an hour and a half, brother.
Was it really?
Yeah. Well, it's an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I know you got stuff to do.
I always got stuff to do.
Well, I thought you were going to do that take it video. You're not going to do it.
Not tonight, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna hit that one again tomorrow. So.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go do that afterwards. That's why I was like, oh, well, then I'll let you go, But I did get a message right now from somebody that's gonna come on the podcast that I wanted, like, been wanting her to come on.
Oh, cool.
Like,
awesome.
I don't know if you know her. She's under Send Me Snakes or Send Snakes.
I don't know.
Kind of like.
I'll know if I know her when I see her.
But I'll send you her profile on Instagram. But yeah, she's pretty cool. She's awesome. She works with like green trees, arachnids. She does have retics.
Nice.
I think the Malin. So she has a pied and I think a platinum too.
Nice.
And a golden child, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, she has a lot.
Right?
She has some fire. I get that.
You said she's coming on now?
Nah, Monday.
Oh, okay.
Next Monday, so after I get off of this, I gotta go make some flyers. I got somebody from a wildlife zoo coming on.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
So that what's his name? I gotta send you his profile too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still trying to get Kevin and Johnny on.
Right.
So
yeah, that'll be cool.
And then I don't know who I have Wednesday. I know I have somebody scheduled for Wednesday. Oh, so it's first it's her, and then Tuesdays it's ladies' night. Jennifer is gonna host that one, and then Wednesday it's that wildlife zoo guy.
Cool. Yeah, I'll pop in anytime I can.
Yeah, let me know, man. I appreciate you like hopping in with me and just talking, shooting shit. Talking about whatever USR, promoting USR.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know what it's like. Like I said, on mine, a lot of times I don't even set anybody else up. I just jump in and wing it, and whatever ends up coming up comes up. So.
See, I tried that the other night, and then you jumped on because that wasn't working for me. So I don't know. I feel like I have to be talking to somebody for it to work. But
yeah. It's tough sometimes. Like I said, man, there's nights where I get on and I just got such a slow start. And by the time I get done reading the comments and all that stuff, I'm like, okay, we got all the comments. What the hell do I talk about?
Right?
And you're just kind of sitting there tongue-tied, which is where it really comes in handy to start talking about the US ARC thing. So that kills like a half hour right there.
That did, actually. And then what was they saying? Then the monitors, handling big monitors.
Yeah, but I've got to try and condense it now because we've only got like an hour and 20 minutes or so worth of live stream before I go into the Zoom call. So yeah, that Zoom call should be pretty fun. We typically, it's not huge. Typically with our Patreon, we got several people in there and just sit there and show off animals and stuff like that. But
bro, I gotta ask you, like, I gotta pick your brain later on how Patreon works. Like, how would a Patreon?
Right.
How's all that work?
It's not difficult at all. It's not too dissimilar from Facebook, I guess. If you know how to work a Facebook page, you can figure out a Patreon page pretty easy. So it's just a matter of setting up the different tiers of support and stuff like that. And, I mean, it's kind of been awkward for me starting out because, you start putting perks in there for each tier, like, private consultations or these different things. But I didn't have a big enough following to where it really mattered. And I would just talk with anybody that needed help, So the Patreon really comes in handy as you start to get bigger and more people start to contact you. When you run out of time to address everything and you need to figure out who you're going to help first, I always go straight to the Patreon folks. They always get first, if they need handling help and stuff like that. That's always taken care of first. If there's time left after that in the day, then, start working with anybody else that needs it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's hella dope.
Yeah, and it's
but I want to do something like that though, but like where all my Patreons get a shirt, stickers, something like that.
Set all that stuff up automatically. And that's the way mine is. Like after somebody signs up, I think it's after a month or something like that. There's different, stickers, T-shirts, and stuff like that all get sent out automatically, and it automatically comes out of contributions and whatnot.
Wait, hold up, Tim. You mean to tell me this whole time we've been talking, you have shirts?
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. I've got a store on the channel.
Oh, well then, damn, I gotta go look at it. I gotta go get me a shirt. Oh, like, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah. I've got a spreadshirt set up, and I got stuff like, and sorry, I got this coffee cup from. And this is like my favorite damn coffee cup now.
Who do you use?
Spreadshirt.
Oh, Spreadshirt.
Yep.
Was it good material or?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, this polo came off of it. So I've got a couple more. I've got a couple other really nice ones that the Monitor Lizard tore to pieces. So I've got to.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got to replace those. They're not Monitor Lizard proof, but yeah, it's got some pretty decent stuff on there. It's one of the things that I've been wanting to do too, as I get the time and the ideas start to come in. Is I want to get some individualized designs for some different shirts and stuff like that. Like like Kevin's got his hands. It's what's for dinner shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
I like that.
Yeah. I just happened to be wearing that shirt when I took the bite and wrap from that 16-foot retic.
Damn.
I got a picture floating around somewhere where I had that shirt on and I had my hand wrapped in paper towels and electrical tape. But
Oh my God.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I was like,
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You got some stories, Tim. You got some stories.
Dude, I seen probably the worst bite. God, there's two of them that I'd seen that were really bad. One of them, the guy got two bones in his hand broken. And he was down on a bottom enclosure trying to pull a glass off, and his hand came over. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I know that snake nailed him, bit him, wrapped him, and I managed it just like you do any other bite. And it wasn't too much longer after that. That guy started getting really queasy and nauseous. Come to find out, he got two bones in his hand broken when he got struck.
Damn.
Yeah.
What kind of snake was that?
Reticulated python.
Damn, they came with that much force it broke his fingers?
Dude, a big retic is it's Mike Tyson of snakes, dude. Good
comparison. I like that.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
I mean, you get I know it doesn't show in any of my videos because my snakes are so well socialized and all that stuff, man. But and they're always so sweet and mellow and trustworthy. But when you get around a big retic that doesn't like people, that doesn't trust people, it's afraid of people, they are really a chore. I had to help one guy out of a bite and wrap where he got bit under the arm, and the snake had wrapped his neck, completely cut him off. I mean, he was purple by the time I'd gotten over to him. He was maybe 10, 15 seconds tops from going out. And had I not went over there and he went out and the snake didn't let go, he wouldn't have made it.
Damn.
Yeah. So I mean, I've seen some pretty bad bites. That's why we always emphasize, make sure if you've got a big snake, you've got somebody else there.
That's what Serenity said too. Like she would never like handle a snake, or he or she would never handle a snake alone. That's why they always have help or something.
Yeah.
That the boa is big enough for them to handle. That's a big snake.
Well, my little Burmese back here, my little 4-foot Burmese, the other day, I had her out and she was around my neck, and she got wrapped around and just started squeezing. And I felt myself starting to go out. So I'm, trying to find the tail and everything, and I couldn't really find the right place to start pulling her. And it took me a little while, but I mean, she had a grip on me. 4 or 5 foot snake, if you're not paying attention, You know, it doesn't take much to cut off that carotid artery and
Right.
go to sleep.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, you could, in theory, probably in practice, I'm sure, you know, if you get a 5-foot snake around your neck and you screw up, it can cut the blood off to your brain. And if you're unconscious, even a 5-foot snake can kill you. If it doesn't let go while you're on the ground and that blood supply stays cut off, you're toast. You know, you don't worry about it so much with smaller snakes because you can pull them off. So,
True.
yeah, but I mean, you get with a bigger snake. I mean, just like that guy up in Pennsylvania last year, 18-foot retic killed him. So that's the kind of stuff that
ends up on the news. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, fortunately, there wasn't any backlash from it, really. But I mean, that's why it's so important that anybody that's breeding and selling them is making sure that people are getting schooled on how to handle them. And I make myself available to anybody with a big snake. If they need help handling and stuff like that, I always try and make myself available to help them with it, because I would much rather spend a couple hours working with somebody than.
Oh man, she said her 4-foot boa did that to her.
Yeah.
That was lots of fun.
It don't take much.
What's up, Bosa?
What's going on, brother?
Man, he just popped in here because I didn't see him in here.
Yeah, he must have just popped.
Well, Bosa, you're gonna have to catch the replay because we've been here for a minute. Oh, his name's Charlie. Sorry. Sorry, Charlie. Kayla before she currently at work. She runs a psych hospital 5 nights a week. Damn.
Oh, hey. Well, that's why she fits right in.
Wait, me or Tim? I'm on. Wait, me or Tim?
I know the name Kayla sounds familiar. I would have to see her to know if I recognize her.
I won't stupid. But says I'll watch the replay. It's pretty much about USR working with retics, big snakes. What else? Too?
Yeah, telling some snake horror stories and
podcasts. Why we started podcasting. I don't know. I started podcasting because, like I said, I wanted to spread positivity, and that's what I did. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll get some folks on here and get you built up.
I mean, I'm trying. I know a lot of people. It's just the way I talk to people, though. It's like the way I talk to you or talk to anybody else. It's just I don't treat them with disrespect. It's all about respect.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, the good stuff always takes a long time to grow, anyway.
Yeah.
The only thing that really blows up quick is the really dramatic stuff and all that. I've never been really good at that. I'm not an entertainer.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, me either. But what was I gonna say though? Because that when you said that, I was thinking about doing that. Well, not doing it, but I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, what can I do to make my podcast better? I was like, man, the only way my podcast is gonna skyrocket is if I bring on controversy or stuff, drama stuff, and that's not what I'm about.
Right.
And I've had to hear people tell me, but that's what's working right now.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, but I'm gonna stick to my true character, which is just me being me and keep spreading positivity. I can't do it. I can't find myself to do it. Like,
it's not worth it. It's not worth the attention. It's the quality of people that come in for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm exactly both. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Grow organically.
Yeah. That's what I've done so far. That's what I've touched on a couple subjects that are a little controversial and stuff like that. Done a couple call outs that were absolutely necessary. But
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But outside of that, really do my best to keep it as positive as I can. It's not always easy because I'm still evolving out of my old mindset of 20 years ago, slowly but surely.
I
I'm
mean,
still a work in progress. So sometimes my knee jerk reaction is to fight, and
yeah.
I gotta. I've done really well at kind of putting the brakes on a little bit and going, oh, okay, yeah, just deal with it a different
Oh,
way.
you mean like patience with the people?
Yeah, I mean, certain people, every now and then, and it's really been cool because I haven't really gotten any negative anything on the channel. Every now and then, you get somebody as a troll or a sharpshooter, but I mean, for the most part, it's all been positive. So.
Who, Charlie, me or Tim? Like me or Tim? Who you talking about here?
Yeah, you're probably more chill than I am. I've got to make a concerted effort sometimes.
I mean, I just want to have fun, man.
Right.
I just want to have fun. I want to get to know the person I'm interviewing. When I bring on somebody on the podcast, I'm bringing
Right.
them on so they can get their name out there as well, so they can drop their links, their
Right.
contact creator. Like when I bring people on, they tell their families, and when they tell their families, they're like, "Oh man, you finally made it to the big time." They get all excited for them. So I like that feeling when people tell me that stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, well, let's do this. We're gonna do it.
Right.
You know. So I want people to get to see them for who they really are. It's not that I'm bringing them on here just to bring them on here and cloud or whatever you want to call it. I just want to get to know the
Well,
person one on one.
you'll really enjoy the community we got built up around us over there because got a lot of really good people, a lot of really chill, no drama. There's a lot of knowledgeable people on it. So.
Yeah, I could see Tip getting a little spicy. If he had to, I mean, I could too if I had to. Like the Samson thing, yeah, that got really spicy. But I mean, other than that, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a work in progress.
But I mean, he's been chill with me. He's been like, I message him and be like, hey, we're gonna go live tonight, or you want to go live tonight? You want to hang out?
Right. Oh no, I mean, I'm just that kind of person where I'm respectful, nice to everybody. It's just if somebody comes at me with something, I'm not one to back down and turn the other cheek most of the time. When a lot of times I probably should.
Yeah.
Like I said, but like I said too, fortunately it doesn't happen a lot. I try and keep everything really positive. And it's been successfully doing that. And like I said, I've also got my friends that I call too when I've got something to deal with or I've got to make a decision about something, I'll always call them and say, okay, what do you think about this? This is what I think. Does it sound stupid? Am I overreacting? Most of the time I feel pretty good about it because they'd be like, no, that's what I'd do. Be like, okay, cool, thanks.
So I wish I wish I had that, but like I probably do have that. I just don't be like, hey, what do you think? Sometimes I just overreact and I react before I even ask.
Right.
So, so by the time I say whatever I said, they're like, what did you say? Not something good.
Yeah. Sometimes
Try to stay professional, but man, sometimes it's hard. Yep.
Yeah. It really is.
It really is.
Can be difficult sometimes, but I mean, my big thing is just, I think as long as you stay honest and, stick to what you know, admit what you don't know, be open to suggestion and all that stuff. I think that's 90% of it right there. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I draw the crowd that I do on mine is because I don't fake anything, you know. I don't try and act like I know if I know something, I'm gonna say I know it. But if I don't know something, I'm gonna be like, I don't know, man. Let's call so and so. They know. Yeah.
And have you got any sponsors for your podcast, Tim? Do you have any sponsors on your podcast?
No,
Why not?
I've never pushed for it. Never really talked to anybody about it.
Oh, that's funny.
What's that?
It says, yeah, that guy dude comes out quick, fast, in a hurry. See, but I like doing podcasts like this because we're talking and then they're commenting in the comment, so it gives us time to read and
Oh yeah,
talk to them back. So it's fun. I like that. I like doing that.
yeah. I think like the perfect number in that I found is like maybe 30-ish people. You get around 30 people that are really active in the conversation, you can kind of keep up with that pretty easy. Once it gets over that, then you just start scrolling and you're like, damn, I'm sorry I'm missing all of them. Just send the super chats. I won't miss those.
See, and like when we brought on Adrian yesterday, she was like, "Oh my god, I'm fangirling because I watched Tim's. I didn't know his name was Tim. This is Tim." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I'm fangirling." It was funny. Like,
yeah.
I like that stuff. See, like they're like, "Oh, you know Tim?" I was like, "Yeah." Know a lot of people. We just met though, but yeah, I know a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean,
But yeah,
that's just so motivating when, it's those are the things and some of the comments that I'll get on the videos where people are saying, I used to be terrified of my animal, but everything is perfect now, or I used to be afraid of animals and now I've got a whole room full of snakes, or any number of things like that. And I've had like 2 or 3 people here recently say, I watch you and Kevin McCurley when it comes to handling, and it's just like it's humbling when people put me on that level with that. But that's the thing that motivates me, not only to keep going, but I try and I try and keep those people in the front of my mind in the way I conduct myself in dealing with stuff.
yeah,
Because I don't want to do anything that would embarrass somebody that's cool and kind enough to support what I'm doing, and be behind me. So, I mean, once you've got a community built under you and around you like that, I mean, you're really responsible for you're responsible to do the right thing by them too, not just do what you want to do, or So it's another thing that kind of helps keep everything balanced. And
yeah, I was gonna say like my sponsors there, they're like that too. What do you say? Definitely took a lot from your Bob series with my feisty animals. By animals, I mean my blood python. Oh my god, Bosa. I love Bosa.
Oh yeah, Bose is great, man. Bose has
Yeah.
been like from the beginning, just about.
We actually have a sticker together that we did a collab on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's up here. Yeah. But yeah, I gotta send you some stickers, Tim.
Yeah, I'll have to do the same.
Yeah, you gotta give me your address and everything, and I'll send you a sticker, probably a shirt. I sent Bosa a shirt.
Cool.
Well, we shirt swapped, so
Yeah.
he sent me one of his, I sent him one of mine.
All right. Yeah, I need to start ordering some stuff. All of my stuff goes straight through Spreadshirt, so I've got to start keeping some stuff on hand like that. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things with me, though. I haven't done hardly any real promoting of the channel or anything. I make videos and
that's it.
Yeah, and I mean that's been it. And jump in, participate with the community and live streams and stuff like that. Just because I always like sitting around talking reptiles. But as far as actually sitting down and trying to intentionally grow the channel.
Oh my god. What does he always say? He always says scandalous.
Right.
It sounds scandalous. Bosa. Yeah, he's funny,
What happens in the snake community stays in the snake community.
right? I love him. Yeah. Yeah. What I was gonna say though, I was like, you should promote yourself on here when you come on here. I don't mind. You can promote here, be like, hey, I'm on Saturdays, whatever.
Right.
You know, come join me over there. Bro, I would love to like join one of your podcasts for sure.
Yeah.
But
Like I said, I'm on there every Saturday, so most of the time, unless I've already got something scheduled.
you said you're on there at 7?
Yeah.
Okay, because I got to be at work by 8, so I can do that.
Yeah, 7 Eastern time is when we start.
So it'll be 6 my time. Like today, 6 my time, 7 your time.
I think so.
I'm Central. Yeah, I'm Central, so you're an hour ahead of me.
Yeah, I'm terrible with time zone.
Yeah, so Eastern is an hour ahead of Central,
Yeah,
and Pacific is 2 hours behind Central. So
yeah.
And then there's Mountain Time, which I don't know how Mountain Time works. Forgive me. I don't know if it's an hour behind Central or hour ahead of.
There's like 2 parts of the country too where the time zones don't change. It's Indiana and in the Phoenix area, and I lived in both of those places at one time.
Oh yeah, the time zones get me, man. So I'll be like, wait, what time is it? So like right now what was it? Not right now time. I had Medusa Reptile. She's from Switzerland.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she came on. We went like cross country to get her, and she came on. She's awesome, by the way. She works with venomous reptiles, and I was like, "What time is it there?" She's like, "Right now it's 9 o'clock at night." It was like 1 o'clock in the evening for us, or 12 o'clock. No, it was 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. It was 1 p.m. here in Central Standard Time. So they're so way ahead. I think they're a day ahead actually.
Yeah.
Too. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
They're like into the future. I think they're like. So if it's Thursday here, it'd be Friday night for them.
Mm.
It's crazy, right?
Right. I know it's a long day flight over there.
I don't know. That's just weird. Like, how the hell did their calendar ended up? And I always ask, like, what was the winning lottery numbers? But they never tell me.
I know, right?
That never works out. What do you say? I became friends with a lot of dudes from the UK, and they're always doing their podcast at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, but it's 7 p.m. their time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get them too because sometimes they're like, my English ain't good enough, yet to come onto your podcast because I'm not fluid in English yet. My writing's better. I've had somebody tell me that, so I'm like, okay, cool. So, or I actually had a German lady, and she was a fish, like working with aquarium and fish, but she was working with shrimp. I think it was shrimps, different kind of shrimp.
Yeah.
Some pretty nice ones too, exotic ones. And she's like, I don't think I'll be able to come on your podcast. And I said, why? She's like, my English isn't good enough. I said, I can text fine. She's she was like, I can text fine, but I'm German, so my language and my accent's really thick.
Right.
I was like, you don't have a translator, anybody?
Yeah. I could typically work with it until you get to somebody like Scottish or something like that. And he can understand them just about as well as you can understand a Cajun.
Man, but I don't know. It's just sometimes like I reach out to these people. I got somebody from shrimp are dope, dude. Trust me, I like shrimp too. I also like crabs. I like the moon crab. All kind of crabs, like really. And I used to work with crawfish. I had the blue crawfish, the electric blue, I think it was called.
Yeah, those are good.
So I used to have those too. So I have an aquarium problem. It's expensive. Oh
It is.
wait, you work with shrimp and fish too, or what, Charlie?
What you doing?
But I was like, man, 2 hours, dang, that went quick.
Yeah, it always does. Always
I know.
does.
I know you're
Well,
probably tired. It's what, 9 o'clock?
yeah, well, I mean, it's not so much tired, but I got an eye infection too. You can probably see my eyes friggin' bright red. I wear contact lenses.
Me too.
Between that and working with the animals, every now and then something gets in there.
And
I'll
there,
spend 2 days with eyes all blown up.
yeah, I try not to, so I wash my hands and all that before I touch my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try not to, but yeah, I do get shit stuff from like the snake or the reptile stuff, and yeah, it sucks.
And you know when it's coming too. Like I'll be in there dealing with Niles or something, he'll splash, and I'll get some of his tub water splashed up in my eye, and I'll just be like, okay, I'll just enjoy being pain free for the rest of the day because it's gonna suck tomorrow.
Yep. And that sucks. Yeah, that sucks. But
yeah, mine gets so bad sometimes that like a cigarette lighter is like looking into the sun.
Oh man,
I get really photosensitive when I get those eye infections. And I mean, you literally, there's been times where in order to light a cigarette, I'd have to put my hand over my eye like this because just that little bit of light off the cigarette lighter just felt like somebody's driving an ice pick through my head.
look at that. He says he has some neocardine shrimp, mano shrimp, and 75-gallon South American community tank.
Cool.
10-gallon with dwarf frogs, 29-gallon black water, 20 tall with some Rubinigi cichlids. Bro, when you're ready to come on a podcast, Charlie, you're more than welcome to come on and talk about shrimp.
Yeah, I need to put together some of my old pictures, my old aquariums at some time. I've got a bunch of video and photos, all of eel, rays, and sharks, and all that other stuff that we had. And I used to keep coral, so all that neat stuff.
Well, 2 hours.
Yeah,
I appreciate. I was just saying 2 hours. I appreciate everybody that being here. Charlie being here, Bosa, Shelby from the beginning, Moon. Thank you, Rudy. You know, thank you for hanging with us, just listening to us talk. But I don't know, unless you got something else to say, Tim, we out of here.
No, man, I'm good. Everybody come hang out Saturday night at 7 Eastern over on Intrepid, man.
What do you say? I added half a bandit spiny eel 2 weeks ago to my snake. Nice. I like eels too. It's like just an underwater snake.
Yeah, that was the worst bite from any animal I've ever taken. Was a damn
eel,
2-foot black edge eel.
Thanks, guys. Was fun. Have a good night. Yeah, y'all have a good night. Don't forget to love each other. You know, lift up whoever needs to be lifted, and always check on your loved ones. Other than that, y'all have a great night. We out of here. You have a good night, Tim.
You too.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye.